Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I hope you are well. My name is Ike Masina. I'm here to give you a very short presentation. I hope this is as short as I am thinking. The time is 3:45. It's about the Naturena Traders MAgazine. Somehow it seems like life is not about coincidences. It's like opportunities. Just to give you a background of what actually triggered this magazine production and presentation. It's about 2 weeks ago we were talking with Mr. Ngaba and Mr. Madlala. For those of you who know this magazine, this is called Homemakers Magazine. This is one of the magazines that promotes businesses in the South. They used to distribute this magazine from 1993 when I came to Naturena. As you can see, they have very amazing dynamic adverts, but most of the business that are represented here are white businesses. And we all know the quality as well as the services that these people are providing. Some of them we are actually like the work actually is done by entrepreneurs, and we were talking about how about the group have something similar to this so that our members can get enough exposure. This is what this presentation is all about. Let's start from the beginning. This talk will actually be about why Naturena Business Magazine and not a newspaper, and as well as where will our survival lead to during and after COVID-19. Try and find out a few answers, and maybe bringing order to chaos, finding a solution as entrepreneurs. Which types of businesses are we talking about in Naturena? This is very crucial. And do we have communication platforms to meet the needs and match the standards of homemakers if we are to go that route? Or is it the only channel? And then in conclusion, probably look at a simplified alternative versions to the challenges. And lastly, how much does it cost? Number one, I must give compliment to the people who established the WhatsApp group. It is one of the most dynamic and profound way to actually break barriers of conformity, as well as, bring our limitations, break the limitations of our paradigm thinking. So I'm lucky and I feel honored to be a member of this WhatsApp group. So I feel I needed to contribute more than just being a member and selling products. So let's kick off with the answer to the newspaper. Why not the newspaper? First of all, we know the newspaper, for me, it was not viable because Southern Courier is the kingpin of newspaper production and distribution south of Johannesburg, including Gauteng and all other provinces. They actually are the owners of the printing industry. We cannot beat them in their own game, and they don't come cheap to small business and home-based enterprises. So one of their strengths is actually their local distribution network, as well as the timelines, at what time they deliver, when and how. So for me, the newspaper was not an option. Answer number two, the magazine, although it is very expensive, but presenting our members for advertising purposes, it's a viable option, but not very expensive because there is no middleman. In other words, I'm the one who will be facilitate the production of the digital version. This is against the background of the Homemakers magazine, which was terminated in around 2009 and 2010. They stopped distributing it in the houses. Although they are professional and established, they support white businesses. If you are a black entrepreneur, it's unlikely that you will participate because it is an unwritten agenda and an unwritten law for them not to do business with black people or show them what it is that they do. It is the culture of cooperation as well as white monopoly capital agenda. They've stopped distributing the newspaper, the magazine in Naturena, or probably all the black suburbs, but Naturena is actually affected. I suppose Mondia and Alvida, Seidelwood, it's also affected. I'm not sure, but we don't receive it anymore. Why should we get involved in this? Because the black market area has posed a high risk for Homemakers magazine, where I think the perception was doing business in Naturena or elsewhere in the south posed a criminal, what do you call it, a crime risk against hijacking or being robbed. That's probably why they are not doing business anymore in the south. So the question I would like to ask is, where does our entrepreneurs' opportunity come from? It means one man's bread eats another man's poison. If they don't want to do business with us, then it means we must take the opportunity and the baton to run with it. And this has opened the opportunity for us to do it ourselves. And as black people, I suppose we know more of what our needs are than they know what our needs are. We need to provide the skills and the services as best as they did. Credit must be given and due to them because they really have been in business for longer than us. So we need to become, as an organization or a group, we need to become a household brand and build a legacy where our communities can depend on in terms of these businesses. Like, for example, if you are in construction, we should not allow these service providers to take customers for a ride. What that means is, while we establish this platform or a mechanism, we need, as a group, we need to follow up whether those services were delivered with competency. Competency means, I mean, if you build a house and you're not happy with the roof, after building the house, there's a roof leak, and when you go and look for the guy, he disappeared with the money, he can't come. There are no guarantees. So those are the little kinks that we need to deal with, maybe at a later stage. We need to also become organized, and which means leadership responsibility is the key. So responsibility means to respond to a call. This is one answer. Means the ability means being able to take charge and control of the situation. Like you've started the group, it means a big initiative. Therefore, for us to harness the power of this WhatsApp group, we need to prepare ourselves against higher challenges. This means taking over from the white bosses what they used to do, whether it is plumbing, it is constructing a house, or repairing a broken geyser, or repairing the fence, installing an electric fence, or fixing your car, or painting your whole house, or baking cakes, or ordering chicken, or half scope or quarter. We need to be doing that ourselves too for our people. Take over those roles and the initiative required, but deliver professional, guaranteed service to our people. This is how I perceive the role of the magazine, to give us a way to communicate with the customer. Therefore, having said that, we are going to be bringing order to the chaos that we are experiencing of COVID-19. What it will do, it will improve our sales and our marketing efforts to be recognized as service providers. But also bringing order to chaos might mean something else. It means the fact that somebody initiated the WhatsApp group tells me a lot about your resilience and strength of character you can bring to the people of Naturena to promote our businesses as well as our services. The fact that you are able to take a leap of faith and fight like a wounded tiger during COVID-19 to survive without income guarantees tells me a lot about the people in Naturena, or the people in this group in particular. So this makes me humble to want to bring the best in myself and to push the agenda of survival beyond just COVID-19, to make our living at least more meaningful, rather than battle to make ends meet, because this is what we've been deprived in the concept of BEE. Small business has always been marginalized in the last 25 years. So we need to find another mechanism to find ourselves and root ourselves within the framework of our own community, rather than try and stretch our arms and fight for the bigger cake where we don't have strong alliance or partnership. So which businesses am I talking about? I'm talking about bakers, graphic designers, hair salons, restaurants, computer service providers, garden services, Uber drivers, events managers, you name all those people who, fashion designers, Stockfell, funerals, plumbers, aluminium manufacturers of window frames and doors and garage doors, and building material, people who supply the bricks and mortar and painters. So we need communication platforms. My experience in business in the last 28 years through various industries as a consultant has given me a competitive edge, because I dealt with communication systems at corporate level as a consultant. So one of the need for a vehicle for this organization or this WhatsApp group is to become a mouthpiece of small business in our neighborhood. This, to me, it represents the true BEE. To be effective in marketing ourselves, we need to perform major tasks like replace Southern Courier or Homemakers with our own magazine, which obviously will give us an advantage over white monopoly capital. Number one, we need a digital or print publication to display and showcase our service, our merchandise. This is our breakfast menu. Magazine will represent our breakfast menu. Secondly, we need a voice. This is now a digital voice to shout out our products, like a radio station, a podcast services. This will become our lunch and dessert, the podcast station. And then thirdly, a visual mechanism to impact the appreciation of showcasing visually the products of the members. Like a TV channel. In this case, probably it will be YouTube or Zoom, whatever the case is, or Google Hangout. So, in short, I would like to present to you Naturena Business Magazine, number one, and then the AIM Business Podcast Radio, and thirdly, Zoom for group communication and meetings. So let's look at the simplified solution alternatives. Naturena Business Traders Magazine. It's a platform to advertise your business using flyers. Number two, a platform to promote your business with articles. You write a nice article or a story about the life of your business. And then thirdly, you showcase your best possible skill or merchandise. If you are a tailor, let's see what it is that you're doing. So it is more a packaged vehicle that will help us present our wear to the public in a branded manner, rather than if we work individually, everyone throwing his flyer there, another one there. So we consolidate our efforts and move forward so that we can build the confidence of the consumer. Then the second aspect is the radio advertising business media podcast, a platform and a place to voice note your jingle. This is where now you're going to become your own representative, represent your own brand in your own language, in your own voice, in your own words. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to be a radio DJ to do that. we need to market ourselves and build confidence in what we can do. Otherwise, we can hire. And if you can afford to hire an expert, I suppose it is not a crime to do so if you can afford it. And then, finally, showcase your ultimate business service and product to the consumer. So, how much does it cost is the big question. Yes, that's a very good question. It's less than a case of beers and a birthday cake. So, every business has a different needs and a different budget, if any. To find out more about the different prices and the different needs for each individual, at the bottom there, I've got a link of where to actually place your advert for the magazine. Just send me your best flyer, all right? And put in your email, and then the rest is history. And if you don't have money right now, but you have a flyer, do not worry. Just give me the advert, and then we'll talk about the money later on. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, brothers, share. Remain blessed. I love you. God bless you. Cheers.